Good day, everyone. This is your friend, Dr. Arle Imperio, and we will be discussing about ImuRegen Glucan, Fulvic and You. And this is Dr. Arle Imperio. I just mentioned it, and we will be having an overview on how ImuRegen and Glucan and Fulvic can be an important part of our life. And you can now see the one who is starting everything, Forever Healthy Products. This has been founded by Leon Katz and our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Susan Barlin. And for you to appreciate the name Forever Healthy, I would usually be asking you several questions. And this is the question: which would you like to experience? Sickness or health? Of course, the answer is health. When would you like to experience health? Now or later? Of course, the answer is now. How long would you like to experience health? Now, for now only, or as long as possible, or forever? The answer is forever. Therefore, it is Forever Healthy Products. Now, let me remind each one, I realized early in life that for us to get anything in life, we need three basic requirements. The first requirement is you should be healthy. Number two, you should have resources like money. And number three, you must have time freedom to enjoy them. Others are healthy and they don't have money. Others have lots of money, but they are already sick. Others have health and money at the same time, but they're already aging, or they're already limited in opportunities, so there is less time freedom. So our goal, my dear friends, is to have health, money, and time as early as possible to be able to get what we want. And the first thing, of course, is health. We know that health may not be everything, but when you lose your health, you lose everything. Okay, so I would like to help you understand the central dogma of biology. In brief, the central dogma is the science on how the body builds itself, maintains, and repairs itself. Central means it is fundamental. Dogma, it's absolute truth. And biology is about life. It's about you and me. The key elements are DNA, RNA, amino acids, and protein. The end result is protein. Protein is actually every part of your body. So the DNA contains the code. DNA means deoxyribose nucleic acid. And through transcription, the RNA copies the code, ribose nucleic acid. Then the RNA goes out of the nucleus, and the RNA attracts the corresponding amino acids, which is the building block of the body. There are 20 amino acids, and it's like having the 26 letters in the keyboard. If certain letters are missing, certain words cannot be created. The same with our body. The body is in the process of building, maintaining, repairing itself, and it needs the 20 amino acids to do so. So the outline, the central dogma of biology, is that through transcription, the RNA copies the code from the DNA, and through translation, the RNA translates, quote-unquote, the code with the amino acids into protein. So that's how the body builds, maintains, and repairs itself. Now, we'll now take a closer look at the ingredients of ImuRegen, and you will notice, if you look at it closer or closely, you will notice that it seems to support the central dogma of our life. It has the complex dietary nucleotides. The nucleotides are part of the structure of the DNA and RNA. And our nucleotides came from dietary sources. That's why it's exogenously derived and complex to remind us that it is not easy to make the complex dietary nucleotides. It takes 90 days to create the formula. And then we have the amino acids. We have the essential amino acids, and we have 18 all in all. And we have the peptides, which actually is the goal of the central dogma, to create the protein. So the peptides has been created in advance, and there are 118 peptides. The peptides are together and singularly support the many functions of the body. For example, there are peptides to support innate immunity. There are peptides that supports spermiogenesis or angiogenesis. There are peptides that supports behavior emotions or libido, there are peptides that support muscular and even growth development. So, plus the addition of minerals, we have completed the basic elements that will help the cells to be maintained and be efficient and function. Especially the minerals. The minerals will support the membrane potential of the cell because each cell connects to each other with electrical impulses, and that's where the minerals would come in. The body is made up of systems, organ, tissue, cell. And inside the cell are many parts. It has many organs too. We call it organelles. But we are now focusing on the nucleus because the nucleus is the headquarters of the cell. Why? Because inside the nucleus are the chromosome, and inside the chromosome is the DNA. And our focus now is that each DNA has nucleotides. So did you see the order of the hierarchy of the body? So 12 systems. Let's review one system. For example, the respiratory system. You have the nose, the nasopharynx, the bronchus, and the lungs. You see there are several organs. Let's say digestive system. We have the mouth, teeth, tongue, esophagus, stomach, intestines, small and large, and then we have the accessory organs like the pancreas, the liver, and the gallbladder. Now, the reproductive system, for example, you have the reproductive organs, you have the ureter, you can also have the kidney as part of the excretory function, and you have the urethra and the prostate for males, and the ovary and the fallopian tubes for the female. You see there are several organs. Now in each organ is tissue and cell. The cell, we were able to look into the cell when we were able to invent the microscope. And for the first time, you now see that there are many parts inside the cell. Now, it is safe to emphasize that if your cells are healthy, you are healthy. If the cells are sick, you are sick. What kind of sickness would you have? It just depends on where the cells are located. For example, if it's the cells of your kneecap or your bones, you would probably have arthritis. If it's the cells of your liver, you would probably have hepatitis. If it's the cells of your stomach, you might have gastritis or even ulcer. If it's the cells of your lungs, you might have asthma or emphysema. The cells of the eyes, cataract formation can be in place. So you see, your health depends upon the integrity of the cell. Before, knowledge is only at the cellular level. But now, we were able to go deeply into the cell. The nucleus, the chromosome, and the DNA and the nucleotide. The chromosome has 4 legs. We call them the telomeres. And during the past years, it won Nobel Prize in medicine, where they were able to observe that the lifespan of the species depends upon the length of the telomere. And when the DNA activity is very active, it will use up itself and the telomere would shorten, and they noted that the lifespan of the species depends upon the length of the telomere. Therefore, if you can delay the shortening of the telomere, then you can delay aging. So it's connected with aging. And then they also discovered the telomerase, the enzyme that controls the shortening or the length of the telomere. That's another Nobel Prize awardee. But take note, my dear friends, inside the telomere are the DNA. So if you take one DNA strand that can be pulled up to 6 feet long, that will contain about 50 million DNA or genome or genes. And each DNA has nucleotides. Adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. And thymine in the RNA is uracil. So there are 5 types of nucleotides. So what is now being noted and observed is the vital role of nucleotides for DNA stability. There is one research journal that stated nucleotide deficiency can lead to genomic instability. So when the DNA is unstable, then it opens the door to many problems, including disease. And probably one of this mechanism, when it's weakened, can lead to carcinogenesis or mutation. That's why it's very important that the integrity of the DNA is maintained. And one simple way is to ensure that there is adequate supply of exogenous nucleotides. Because the nucleotides are produced by the body, we call it endogenous source or the de novo pathway. However, there are instances, especially when one gets older and weakened, when one is sick, when one is extremely exhausted, fatigued, or tired. These are symptoms indicating that the nucleotide supply is so low that the body cannot cope in producing the necessary nucleotides. Therefore, exogenously derived or dietary nucleotides or free nucleotides are required. So this is where the research has been done in Europe for many years. And we now have the formula where there is complex dietary nucleotides, there is amino acids, peptides, and minerals that will support DNA function. ImuRegen comes from two words, immune system or immunity, that's the immu, and regeneration, the regen is to remind us of the repair that is done to the body. And ImuRegen has a formula that will support immunity and regeneration. So when we compared side by side the central dogma of biology and the basic ingredients of ImuRegen, then you will truly agree the name is very appropriate as ImuRegen. And in this slide, you can see the ingredients which I showed a while ago when I compared it with the central dogma. And these are the elements that are truly very vital to the body's function. In fact, you may also add on your own additional ingredients if you would take other, let's say, food supplements that will augment. But this is the basic formula which everybody should be taking every day. So this is now the overall presentation of our ImuRegen products. So all of them has the logo ImuRegen except one, the Fulvic, which is exclusively for the mineral supply. So ImuRegen is complex dietary nucleotides, amino acids, peptides, and minerals. And we now see in this slide the functional claims that we can state. By the way, what we cannot say is that there are therapeutic benefits where the formula will act like a medicine or a drug or even replace medicine or drug. We can never say that. Those are therapeutic claims. However, we can emphasize structure and functional claim. So the formula supports DNA, RNA structure and the structure of the cell. And then the functions may be as follows. It will support the building blocks of the DNA. It will support synthesis and repair. It will support rejuvenation. It will boost our immune system. It will help repair damaged cells and even protect the cells from free radical activity. Now, we focus on the first ImuRegen, which is immuneplus. So, it has the logo ImuRegen, so that's immune. However, it has an additional benefit that will support body energy. So the mechanism of action here is that ATP production is being enhanced, and ATP is the energy currency of the body. ATP came from nucleotides, adenosine triphosphate. So there are 4 flavors. One tube has 20 tablets, effervescent tablets, and per tablet has 0.18 milligrams ImuRegen. You can take, adults can take 1 tablet 1, 2, 3 times a day. For children at 1 year old, you can take at 1 tablet a day. If you feel you need more, simply consult your doctor about it so that it can be adjusted depending on your health challenge or condition. And then we now have the Emergen Liquid. The ImuRegen is 1.5 milligrams, and the liquid is beneficial for rapid absorption because it's already liquid. You can just take it orally at 1 teaspoon a day for adults and even 1 teaspoon a day for children at 1 year old above. And the Emergen capsule, one bottle has 90 capsules. You take 1 capsule 3 times a day. So 1 bottle is 1 month supply. And this contains 0.5 milligram Emergen. So you take this before meals, so it's part of your nutritional support on a daily basis. Then we have the glucan. The glucan is a nutrient that has been studied for many years, and there are many research studies on glucan. It's an immuno-modulator. Glucan came from the membrane of cell membrane of the bacteria, of the mushroom, of the grains like oatmeal, of the fungus. And what is very contrasting is that the membrane of the cells of the body does not contain glucan. Therefore, when glucan is introduced into our system, the body's innate immunity is being, let's say, stimulated. That's why it supports immunity. So this is the only Emergen with glucan in the world. And this is the only glucan in the world that has Emergen. So both of them, when combined, will potentiate its immunomodulating activity. So you just take 1 capsule 2 times a day for adults, and for children, they at 7 years and above, you take about 1 capsule a day. If you feel you need more, simply consult your doctor about it so that he can make the necessary adjustment. Then finally, the Fulvic Minerals. These are trace minerals from ancient plants, and this will help support the repair and maintenance of the cell membrane, and it will also help support the electrical conduction or activity of the cell. Just imagine 300 million Americans, each one has a cell phone, and they are connected through their cell phones. But the cell phone is only useful if there is clear signal and power. The same thing with the cells of the body. Every cell talk to each other, they communicate with each other, and it is through a membrane potential or electrical conduction or signaling where the communication is being done. Therefore, we now have a complete set of food supplements that will help support our body. Always remember, my dear friends, to point to God as the source of life, health, and prosperity. And also, always remember that prevention is always better than getting the best cure. This is your friend, Dr. Arle Imperio. Until our next broadcast from the Philippines, we say, Mabuhay!